Hey, thanks for tuning into the Muse Report. I'm Clee Davis, and I'm just a normal guy trying to fulfill his dreams and ambitions. I'm pretty sure we have lots in common, and we're on the same road, so you might as well join me on my journey of turning my muse into a reality. Let's go!
This episode is near and dear to me because on this episode, you will be hearing from my family. Yes, my real blood family, my mom, my dad, and my brother are on this Muse Report talking with me about Christmas and the end of another year. We reminisce a little bit and talk about our plans for the future as well. Now, disclaimer, you will hear a few audio in and outs due to me just being stupid with our mic setup, but you live and you learn. So this is the episode Christmas of Happenings. So hope you enjoy and Merry Christmas.
I have my family, my older brother Austin, my dad Slim James Davis, and my mom Sharon Davis Clan with you today. And I honestly did not think this podcast was going to happen today because it just got too busy. So therefore I did not plan properly. So this is going to be a freestyle.
It's supposed to be raw, right?
Real raw this time. So just going to start off with everyone introducing themselves and what they're doing in life currently, through at least in throughout 2017, since we're closing out the year. And then we'll get started so that the audience can know you guys better. So we'll go around clockwise.
Clockwise.
Yeah. So. Okay.
Well, I'm AJ Austin Davis. I guess I am the oldest child here of the Davis clan. Currently, I'm in just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, Gastonia, North Carolina, a small little hick town right outside of Charlotte, but it's pretty cool. Currently, I'm in logistics. It's weird because I went to school for culinary arts, but I'm in logistics right now, and I have a little one on the way with my lovely wife Erica. And we are building a house, so very busy end of the year and leap forward into next year. So that's currently where I'm at in life.
Okay, I am the patriarch of the family. As I was introduced earlier, James Slim Davis. For those of you who know me, everyone calls me Slim, but 2017, pretty busy year, but for the most part, routine, no big surprises. I work currently for the transit authority here in Washington, D.C. area. It's called WMATA, Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority. I'm a structural evaluation technician. For those of you who may not know what that means, basically it simply means I'm a bridge inspector. So I'm doing bridge inspections for the authority as well as other structural inspections. Looking forward to 2018, have some things on my plate. I was working on some individual projects music-wise in 2017. Hopefully those will come to fruition in 2018 and you can be a part of that with me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'm Sharon Davis, the matriarch of the family, and I'm really excited. Did I say that?
No, it's still recording. Okay. You can still hear me.
Okay. I'm the matriarch of the family and really excited, especially this holiday season, to have all of my children here together. And it has been quite an experience. I am a elementary school teacher, grade 5, language arts and social studies, for I guess about 33 years now. Not 33 years, and as a 5th grade teacher, I've taught all grades from 1 through 6, which means I'm pretty happy and pretty good at my job. I love working with children. However, in 2.5 more years, I will be retiring, and I'm happy about that too.
Okay, so let's say you have a book. It's like a scrapbook starting from whatever year, 1990, 95, 2005, doesn't matter. And for each year, there's a blank page, and you have to write one memory from that year to finish that page. And each page has one memory from that year that stood out the most. What would that be for you in 2017?
Well, my birthday this year was pretty memorable. My wife did two things for me on my birthday. She got me tickets to the Redskins-Cowboys game, which was, huge. It was humongous. For all those listening, no, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm a Redskins fan, unfortunately. But I'm still proud enough I'm proud enough to mention it. Anyway, that was one thing she did. But the other thing, that is when I actually found out that I was going to be a daddy. So it was kind of a twofold, 1-2 punch kind of deal. And she kind of set me up for the knockout when she told me that I was going to be a daddy. So that was probably the most memorable thing of 2017 for me.
My most memorable experience for 2017 happened to be a women's retreat, Bladensburg Women's Retreat, and I'm not one that's really crazy about a whole lot of women getting together, but this was a really special one. I came to the retreat not the best in the best spiritual sense, and left the retreat very rejuvenated. And I am excited to see my religious life, my spiritual life, to grow stronger every day. So this particular year, I can definitely say, has been a wonderful year enhancing my walk with God.
$2017. I'd have to say, if I had to put down a one memorable, because there's more than one, but one memorable experience for 2017 would be for me. I've been singing in a group now for 23 years straight. Mutual Agreement is the name of the group. But recently I've ventured out beyond the group to a solo
career,
if you want to call it that. Yeah, solo career. And I actually did my first 2 solo engagements in 2017. I did one in September, and then the second one was in November. So those are memorable for me. Those are the very beginning of what might be something a little different for me from the last 23 years.
So
as far as singing,
when the album dropping and iTunes and Spotify, the name of I'm trying to plug you, man.
The name of it is Honor You.
Honor You. Look it up.
Not exactly sure when it will be totally ready for Spotify or whatever else you said, but the single should be ready early 2018, and hopefully the whole project will be complete shortly thereafter.
Cool.
I want to pause for a second.
Yes.
You not hot in those socks, bro?
I am hot in these socks.
My feet are starting to sweat looking at you in those socks.
And my feet are already sweating. But I was just moving all around, going outside and stuff, so just kept these socks on. But I'm not even going to say my favorite memory yet, because, this isn't about me, it's about you guys. I might say it in another episode after this. But as far as Christmas, does anyone here have like an all-time favorite Christmas memory?
I'm sure it was in one of those early years of mine. I can't remember fully.
I do. This is a year that was very early in my life. Guess I was about 8 years old, where my mother said that we were not going to have a Christmas because we didn't act right. So my sister and my two sisters and myself were really hurt because we knew we had been on the best behavior, and we basically knew we didn't have any money really to have Christmas. So what happened is, after everyone went to sleep, I decided that I was going to make Christmas for everyone. So I sewed up my sister's pajamas and packed them up and placed them under the tree. My mother's always wanted a house, so I built her a cardboard house out of shoe boxes and placed them under the tree. And my other sister wanted a camera. So at that time we had packets to put the film in. So I got a bunch of photo packets, put it in a box, and put it under the tree. And I had them wake up early that morning, and they were excited about having presents under the tree until they saw what it was. But that was one of our best Christmases because we made the situation really fun, even though we didn't have money.
My memory is not as good as hers, so I know I've got the facts all fuzzy and stuff. But you guys were young, and I'm sure that's one of the ones I want to talk about, but I can't get my facts straight. I don't want to twist them too bad. But it did involve both of you guys some years ago when you guys were younger, and we did something. I think it was. Where did we go? What did we do? That's terrible if it's all my all-time favorite. That's bad. I do remember one of the more memorable ones, or one of the more fun ones for me, was when you guys were younger, and I think it involved some snow or something and some sledding and stuff like that. But everybody seemed to really enjoy themselves, and it was just it wasn't about a whole lot of gifts and things like that. It was just more of about being able to share time together and do things that made everybody kind of laugh, and, so.
Wasn't it on that hill?
Probably on that hill down the street.
It was on the hill down the street.
I remember a few years going down there having some good fun. I got Tonka trucks one year. That was really exciting for me.
You got what?
Tonka trucks. You remember them big old yellow?
Tonka.
Tonka trucks.
I'm like Talker trucks.
No. Tonka trucks. Yeah, I can't. This was when I was like 7 or 8. I can't remember which one it was, but that year, I don't know. It was honestly, that's probably one of the most memorable Christmases I had because I really wanted Tonka trucks that year. For no reason at all, except they were big and yellow. That's really the only reason why I wanted them. And they had wheels, and I could push them around and pretend like they were real. But it's a great Christmas. I got like 3 that year. It was good.
Those are coming back too. Like,
are they really?
I've seen them on TV, except like they're actually like are motorized now.
Of course.
Like remote control.
I had to use my imagination.
Right.
Exactly. Push that thing. Those things were heavy too. They're like metal.
Yeah, you could hurt somebody
duty
with them. Somebody breaking the house, just throw it down the stairs at them. Just throw it down the stairs.
Weapon.
There was that one time where the fireplace was acting up and the house got smoky.
You talking about last night?
I was talking about
was that last night? Yeah. Recently.
You might say which
time you talking about? That's been an occurrence. That's been an occurrence. It's had more than one.
But okay, going forward into 2018, is there anything that I know we all have New Year's resolutions and things of such, but one philosophy that I have is basically if you're not already developing it now, it's not going to manifest itself in the next year. So is there something that you hope manifests itself in 2017, not necessarily hope for, but comes to fruition for next year?
Well, I have been working towards a goal for 2018, and I touched on it earlier, but I am working to fulfill this music journey that I'm on. It's not one that I chose per se, because like I said, I have been singing for years and years. It's nothing that I've just been wanting to do, but I've been impressed to do it. I feel obligated to try to fulfill that. So 2018, I'm praying that I can, as we were listening yesterday, empty myself to allow God to work through me in 2018 to get what he wants to accomplish. It's not so much about me, but I'm just trying to be a little more obedient in 2018, because of disobedience has taken as long as it has to this point. So I want to be more open and obedient to what I've been impressed to do.
It's funny you should mention yesterday's sermon, because it particularly hit home for me at a point. We went to a Miracle Temple yesterday. If you're ever in Baltimore, you should check it out. But it really, really hit home for me yesterday when he was talking about that seed that God has planted in you. It's not necessarily to make you more well off, or the words he used was to make you rich, or to set you up in some glorious manner. It is so that he can use you to save his people. And I've been wrestling with this idea since early in 2017, and I've got some of it written down, and I've got to transfer it into business plan format, but I've got what I feel is a pretty big idea that I'm working on. With everything that's been going on in my life, I talked about earlier in the podcast, it's been kind of difficult to stay on track with it. But I keep getting this nagging feeling that, I got to get back on track with it. I got to get, I've got to organize myself and get, my ducks in a row for it. And so I'm really, really going to try to push for that in 2018, because I feel like it is the Holy Spirit speaking to me. Telling me that I need to get this thing moving before it's too late, or before, he decides to put it on somebody else. The Lord will accomplish his means with or without you. And so, like Pops was saying, I want to be empty so I can be his vessel, so he can use me. So that's my goal. Other than catching my baby on the way out and building this house. That's my goal as well for 2018.
All right, my goal for 2018, really one that I'm excited about. I will now be a grandmother, and first-time grandmother. I'm really excited about that. But I'd like to be the best grandmother I could possibly be. Thank you. I had the mic backwards again. But I think one of the main accomplishments I want to have is I'm really feeling this about my situation once again with the children, but placing everything in order. And I have been doing it so long, having school being first in my life, and I think my husband's been kind of neglected there. So this year, 2018, I want to have him foremost in my life, my school and my students way down the line. And that home time, I want to be home time with my husband and actually the boys when they come through. So I'm really excited about the new things 2018 will hold with me, changing the order of what I do things.
Good stuff. Okay, so this next question I like because it kind of forces you to think in a certain way. So if you Christmas, the season of giving and gifts and such, giving to others. But if you had a gift to give to the world, what would that be? Now that kind of takes money out the equation, because you can't buy anything, with a price for the whole world. It's just not sustainable. So if you had a gift to give to the world, which I think we all do, that's why we're here on this earth, what would that gift be? And that could be anything. It could actually be, I want to give the world $100. I don't know if that's what you
got. A lot
give.
of money.
If you want to give the world $100, then go ahead. But it could also be something not tangible. So
one of the things that I'd like to give is it's a combination of two things: love and money. And I have this special connection with those who are I don't know, I guess you would call it mentally or emotionally impaired, and they usually seek me out. And it has been somewhat of a blessing. A young lady, or older lady who was homeless today, came by and she held a full conversation with me. And I felt really good that I was able to give her love and a listening ear. But I wish I had the opportunity to also leave some money with her to help her along the way. But with the people I come in contact with, I'd like to be in a position that I can share money with them and definitely share love.
I think my gift, if I could give this to the world, would just be a manifestation of love in itself, because it would be kindness. People interpret love in different ways, unfortunately, because of the environments that some have been raised in, or what's portrayed on social media as love, or whatever. People kind of interpret love differently, but everybody can pretty much see an act of kindness and feel, if not feel loved, at least feel that someone cares. And I think that would, I don't know if that would solve a lot of problems, but I think for at least a moment, we could see the humanity in each other, what I'm saying? Because I'll be honest, I was born and raised in D.C. If somebody comes up to me walking on the street in a certain manner, I'm going to be on the defensive before I'm, but that's just the environment I was raised in. But that's because of a variety of different things. But I think if you could show everybody in the world an act of kindness, I think that that would be a good start.
I would like to give the world, if I could, the message of God's salvation through my music. I write a lot of songs, and a lot of stuff is original, and so I feel a lot of the lyrics that I come up with are inspired or given to me for a purpose or a reason. So I think if I could give the world something that would be the hope of salvation through Christ, through my music.
Those are all good. One thing I thought about, which is kind of doing itself through this podcast, is if I had to, I would want to give the world the gift of knowledge. Not knowledge necessarily as, like definitions in the dictionary, knowing things in an encyclopedia or something, but just knowledge of what's out there. With technology now, it's so much easier to know what the world is, because lots of people, they're raised in an environment and that's all they know, and they operate or think in that mentality because that's what they know. But if I could give them the gift of knowledge of what's out there, they listen to my podcast, and someone who never had the opportunity to go have like financial help, they hear a financial advisor on my podcast, that could be something that infiltrates their world that they would have never had before, simply just by clicking a button. So that's just something I think I would do. And having knowledge of different cultures, different demographics, also just change your point of view on life in general. When you understand someone else's story and what they've been through, because you really don't know what's going on with the person next to you, So just being more empathetic just from knowing, because if you don't know, you can't really understand. So that's something I think I would want to do.
Honestly, I mean, if I were to add anything in closing, it would just be, it sounds so cliche at this point. Everybody always says it, but I don't think we really focus in on it, maybe except for when we're at church, or maybe when somebody else says it, remembering the reason for the Christmas season, right?
Yeah.
Because, we can get into how holidays were mixed long ago, and how we ended up with the Christmas holiday falling on December 25th. That's a whole different podcast in and of itself. But the main reason why this holiday holds significance in a nation that is majority Christian, we think, is because of its meaning. And while the Bible doesn't call too much special attention as far as remember my birth, it's more remember my death because of what it symbolizes. But without his birth, without the significance, and like Pastor talked about yesterday, without the significance of being able to show how God uses an empty vessel in order to bring forth something great, the whole salvation story doesn't happen without the birth. So I think that's why it's important that we remember it, because it was an awesome thing. It was next to the crucifixion. It was one of the most awesome things that happened in the Bible. So, we as Christians need to, not fall into Macy's trap, not fall into, Amazon's trap, and just go, oh man, I gotta go get all these gifts and stuff. But to pause,
Go in debt.
and to really, share with each other and the world, to remind each other that, this is really what it's about.
So I have a question. Do we ever outgrow gift giving and gift receiving, or the point where you say, man, I didn't get what I wanted? Do we ever outgrow that? I know children really look forward to, but do you ever get past that, do you think?
I think so, because I think we do outgrow it to an extent. It also depends on how you're raised, and also your maturity level as just an individual. But as a child, you kind of look forward to the gifts. I kind of look at it like, since I was raised in church, I reverted to church. You went to Sabbath school, and every time you recited the memory verse, you were given a sticker, like in your Bible or whatever. Everybody had the most stickers. But it was like a token of, okay, this is a gift for you doing the right thing, or, giving, right? But as you go on, you start to realize, well, it actually is kind of important that I know these scriptures. I might just read it for fun now, because this is good stuff. And I think it's kind of like the same thing with Christmas. Okay, you're giving gifts. It's a gift thing. And then you realize, well, now I'm just giving instead of trying to get the gift, you know what I'm saying? As you grow up, you kind of see what's the importance of showing love through this thing that I'm giving you. It may not necessarily be what that person might want, but just the fact of showing love through giving a gift that, it might be deserved, it might be undeserved, but you kind of see the transition. At least that's what happened in my head. It kind of flipped, where it went from, okay, it's a time of gift giving to a time of symbolizing my love for someone else, to giving them something that they didn't really ask for. So I think you outgrow it eventually, but some people don't. I don't know. It could just be all about getting what you want. I don't know. It's your prerogative.
Yeah.
AJ said something though that I think metaphorically kind of ties into what this kind of podcast is about. I refer back to it a lot. It's called the Muse Report because a muse is some type of, ambition, abstract dream that you have. That's one of the definitions of it. But often that it stays there. That's what it is. I have the dream of doing this. Okay. So what I did, I was like, well, I listen to lots of podcasts, and I was getting all these things about taking action and hearing all this stuff. So I'm like, all right. I was listening to a podcast. I was like, you know what? I got stuff to say. I think I'm pretty knowledgeable. I can talk. So I was like, I'm gonna start a podcast. So I started a podcast literally that same day because I just did it, and it kind of. I mean, it's I don't know how many listeners I have. I have my mom,
Sure.
But no, I really have gotten some good feedback from people that are like, wow, like I'm really loving what you're doing and everything like that, which is just rewarding for me if it's just one person that's being affected by what I'm saying. So, but I would have never known if I wasn't like empty or ready to go. Like in the beginning, you talked about like how Christ's death is what kind of the really like big important thing of whole Christianity is, but it had to start somewhere with his birth, right? So I think just like going into 2018, it has to be birthed somewhere, right? So just taking that first step to just birth the process of going in. You might fail, whatever, but I mean, I'm a big person. Failure exists. It's not. I mean, you could call it whatever you want, but you're gonna fail eventually. It doesn't mean it's bad, but but just birthing the process, starting in January. That's when everybody's starting stuff, so might as well start then, and see, just where it takes you. It might lead you somewhere where you didn't even think you would end up. Show you something that you never even saw in yourself, and then at the end, when the story is written about who you were, who was Cleveland Davis as a person, they'll see the big thing that you did, but it all started with that birth in the beginning. So I guess we can leave it right there. I'm glad to be with my family. I wanted to have them on the show, just so you guys can see a little bit more about who I am too and where I come from, and I'm just happy to have them here. So I wanted you to hear their voices. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I guess we could call it like Christmas.
It was the Christmas of happenings. I told you.
Christmas of, what? There we go. Hashtag Christmas of happenings.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Thanks, family, for being here with me.
Our pleasure.
And my lack of preparation.
That's so good.
Yeah, so signing off for this one.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Muse Report. I really do encourage you all in this Christmas season to think about the birth of new things to be manifested later on in your life. You never know what you can start if you don't give it a chance to live. But most of all, just love those around you during this Christmas season and throughout the rest of the year, to be honest. With just one act of love from each of you, we can make the world a better place. There's no statistical evidence backing that up, but it's a good thought. The first act of love you should honestly show is subscribing to the Muse Report. I will love that. That would be the best Christmas gift ever. You will know whenever I post a new episode, and you can find the ones that you love the most. Also leave ratings or comments so that I can make the show better as we grow together in our journey toward our muse.
Hey guys, Clee here. Thanks so much for listening to the Build Your Vision podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I would think you did if you stayed all the way to the end. The best thing that you could do to help support this show is by sharing it with somebody. By you just taking a few seconds to recommend this show to somebody, you are making a huge impact, not only on the success of this show, but possibly on that person's life.